This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes, and if you're not down with that, we got 3 words for you. Like the podcast. Nailed it!
Drop it.
Welcome back to another edition of the Ball Don't Lie podcast. We are back after a week off for Thanksgiving break. I'm joined here. I'm Ted Hawley, and joined here as always with my co-host Justin Smool. We are got a couple kind of 2 weeks to catch up on here, but before that, Justin, how was your break? Your Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Good. A lot going on, like everybody, but yeah,
you're gambling,
right. No, all's good, and we conference championship week for football, and we're at the final third here for the NFL regular season.
Yes, we are. We're getting that kind of go zone for the NFL, which is always exciting to me. Yep. Conference championship week is actually really fun for me too, especially this year for college football when there's so much kind of at stake. This is the year you wish you had the 12-team deal, but just kind of follow up here again too. We're broadcasting live from the Gravitate Co-working Studio, brought to you as always by Revelton Distilling Company. We got Chris Spaghetti producing for us in the background. Appreciates what he does. But why don't we recap a little bit the last couple weeks? You got really hot last week in college football. I think you went 5-1.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
you did. You're really, really good. I think you went 2-4 the week before, and then you went 2-4 last week in the NFL, 2-3-1 the week before. I went 2-3 in college last week, 2-3 in the NFL. And I believe I went 2-3 in college the week before that, and 3-1-1 in the NFL. As we always say, we do not run from our records. Puts me at a miserable 25-35-1 for college, 34-27-2 for the NFL. It puts you at 40-34 for college. Even a little bit of a cooler in the NFL. It puts you back to 35-35-4, but one good week from getting right back to where you want to be. And we went 3-2 2 weeks ago in our pick'ems, our circa million pick'ems, and that was very close to being a 5-0 week. Very, very, very close. And we went 2-3 last week, which a couple of breaks each way. It got a little weird there, but that puts our yearly record there at 35-25. Just one pick below that kind of 60% threshold we want to be at. So just need to get a 4-1 week, 5-0 week, get back on track there, and we good to go.
Yeah. 4-1 or 5-0 this time of the year. You just leapfrog people. So
start stacking those up.
Yeah, we're right there. Right. We're right. We've had a couple downers early in the season, so we've really bounced back here the last like month and a half has been really nice.
We've been right around that 60 line for most of the season, which is not a bad spot to be floating at for this long, but right before we hopped on here,
it's really hard.
60% is incredibly hard.
Yes, it's really hard. People think this is easy. It's not easy. Trust me.
55% makes money, and that's hard to do.
Yep.
Well, I just watched Tiger make a double bogey on the easiest par 5 before we started. I went and threw the shirt on before we started too, but it is great to have the big cat back playing golf again.
Did he hit it? I heard he hit it. What did he do? He hit his drive somewhere. Was it in the shit?
It was in the bush, and then he's sitting there. You could hear him talking a little bit. He debated on taking a unplayable, which he should have. He hit it like 2 inches out of it, and he got it back to the fairway, and then it was what it was. But like they said, though, getting back to tournament golf is different than playing golf. Like, part of that is just decision making, slowing down, and that type of deal too.
Yeah.
Watching him nut at 327 on the first tee though was I got the blood going a little bit.
Yeah, that's a bummer. He will be he'll be pissed today because he's played the par fives horribly.
Yeah, and
he already made a bogey earlier on the second easiest par five.
No, he's over par in the par fives today, which is
not on this golf course. No good. Any golf course for that matter. No good.
It's just good to have him back playing again.
Yeah, awesome. He looks good, honestly.
Yeah. He's walking pretty good too, so that was nice to see. But,
yeah.
Well, why don't we pump it in here? Why don't you go ahead and get us started? I got like 8 plays for college football, which is a lot for me.
What? Oh my gosh!
They're not all straight game plays though. I have a lot of different plays in that Michigan-Iowa game too. So,
okay. All right. So, game 1, I'm going to. Let's see. Where do I want to go? I'm going to take Oklahoma State plus 14.5 against Texas.
Well, I'm going to do you a favor and help you out here because it was at plus 16 right before we kicked, and I'm with you.
Oh, it is.
You better go grab that as soon as we get off here too. It was 16 points in 2 sites before we kicked.
Wow. Okay. So take it. You said you're with me or no? You're
against
with
you.
Okay. Cool. I mean, just Okie State, right? They beginning of the year, we even talked about it when that loss. They lost to Iowa State, right? A lot of people, including I think both of us, we thought, oh my gosh, this is like the derailment here. You know what? Props to Gundy, what he did with his team to get them to where they are. They would love nothing more to play spoiler here. And you know what? Texas is finally they're quote unquote on the map. Boy, I mean, expectations get big for them. Let's see how they handle it, right? I just don't know. This is a big number to cover here. So I believe Texas wins the game. 100%. I don't actually think Okie State can beat them. There's just too much talent on the team with Texas, but I think Oklahoma State can keep this fairly close, though.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do too, and I think they can cover that. Just a lot of points for me here. I expect Texas to win too, but I mean, Gundy did a bigger overachieving job than Campbell did this year with that group. Like you said, they were playing like 3 quarterbacks at one point to start the year, and his kid was one of them. We were talking about a time for him just to move on. Is he over it? And then he wraps around and finds himself in the Big 12 championship game. I think they have 9 wins, which is nuts. So yeah, good for Gundy. I think we're both Gundy fans anyway. So I'll be cheering along with you there. They make my card as well.
You got it.
I'm going to take Washington plus 10. I see anywhere from 9.5 to 10. I do think Oregon's better. I've said it a bunch. I'm a little shocked at this line. Yeah. I mean, look, they beat Amarillo this year. I get it. It was at home there, but I'm just really shocked to see the line here. This is just I think it's going to be another good football game, and I was a little shocked to see this above a 1-score spread. It's a little weird to me, so I took Washington for that reason.
Okay, yeah, I'm only staying away from this game simply because that line is where it is, and I know that Oregon has been playing very well, so they just feel like they're getting a little bit too much love for me, but. I get it too. You know what? And by the way, this is a must watch. I love both these quarterbacks. People are going to, complain about these guys coming to the draft because they've been in college since 2012. But you know what? These guys can play. They're fun to watch. They throw the ball well. I've really enjoyed watching Nix and Penix all year. So, I think someone's going to get a good draft pick because they're going to slide and fall.
I was just going to say that too. And look, I agree with Drew and in the Three Birds media here too. It's just a lot of points, but Penix and Nix might be the beneficiaries of, they're a little older, so they're going to slide the draft a little bit. I think they're both going to be first round picks, but they might end up with better teams where they sit for. I mean, what if you're the Jets and you're sitting there and you trade back in the first round late there too to draft one of those 2 guys in the mid-20s? Let them sit for a year or 2 behind Rodgers.
Right? Why not?
That's great. You go from having no hope here to being set up for a while, or just anybody. I mean, there's a good chance they'll get in a better situation by getting drafted later. That happens all the time. You look at there's a lot of different places. You could spell the same thing out for Denver if you want. I mean, Russ has been playing better lately with that contract. That's probably a no-go there. But there's a lot of good football teams that are just a little bit away that would be really interesting to see one of those 2 guys that are kind of older college football players that maybe are more ready to play right away. So we'll see what happens when the draft.
Drew said in the comment, he asked about is this winner of this game wins the Heisman. I would say, Nix is the favorite. So if
I would say that Penix can't win it, but he can stop Nix from winning it. If he goes in and beats him twice in this game, he'll get himself invited to New York City. But if Nix doesn't play well and they lose this game again, Daniels put up some crazy numbers at LSU this year. I know they didn't win a bunch of games there, but I do think Nix can win it in this game, though. I really do.
Yeah, I would actually, if Penix does come out and light it up and again, and they win, for me, he would get my vote simply just because of the body of work. I mean, undefeated. I mean, so at some point that has to matter.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes crazy and gives himself his big Heisman moment again and beats Oregon twice,
yeah,
he can get himself in the conversation for sure. Yeah. I think that Nix can absolutely win it this game, though.
I would agree. I agree. I think Nix can sign, seal, delivered for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go with this one's this is probably a little bit more wishful than anything, but I'm taking the points with UNLV running Rebels here. This team is, I mean, if you followed college football for any length of time, they were always the laughing stock of college football for years. I mean, this team has been atrociously bad. And they've turned the corner for whatever reason. And you know what? I'm throwing out last week's game. It didn't matter. They were here already. So I think they were looking ahead. Boise's the household name here in this league, in this conference. They've owned this league for years. And I think this is the Running Rebels year. I think they pull the quote unquote upset and win the Mountain West.
What do you got them at? 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, so I put them on my card last week simply because my good buddy Dan Ambrose, who's out there, he's been in Cedars and a bunch of different places, very involved in that community. He's a graduate from there too. So I finally put him on the card last week, and they didn't deliver for me. But they were a just miss for me. Okay. I think it's a little more sentimental, hopeful thinking there as well. But I'll be definitely cheering for you on that one.
Okay.
I'll go into the big game. I'm going to take Georgia -5. Now, I really did. It's weird enough to say this. I wanted to see the line at 6.5. Seeing them at 5.5 range made me a little nervous for those teaser reasons we always talk about.
Yeah.
But man, I just don't think they've been playing. Bama lucked out again last week. I mean, that was nuts. 4th and goal from the 32, and you score with 20-some seconds left. That's a crusher. And Auburn's not a good football team anyways.
No.
So it was. I just don't see this. I think Georgia's going to go impose their will on them. I just kind of see a double-digit win here.
Yeah, I'm just staying away. I don't have a crazy opinion here. We've talked at length about how we both feel Alabama just isn't right. They've won games this year, but just like you said last week, right? It was a fluke. I mean, that's a 1 in a million type of shot to win that type of game. Georgia's motivated. I mean, the Georgia can play, and I think part of the reason that we've seen them sort of kind of lollygag a little bit, especially at the beginning of the year, was just they're just kind of going through the motions. They weren't very interested. They'll be interested this week. So if I had to pick this game, I would side with you as well.
Fancy Otter TV wants to know what we think about the war in Israel. I'm going to go ahead and punt on giving any comment on that. So we don't do politics on this show.
No.
Look, Goose said go Hawkeyes here, so why don't we just use that as a segue into this game? I have an idea where your head's going here. I said 34-6 about 3 weeks ago when we knew they're going to be playing, and I thought the spread would be around 27.5. It's not that.
It's not that. It's dropped.
It has dropped. Look, I've locked Michigan in all kinds of places. They're at 22 right now. I'm taking Michigan -22 for my card.
This is my first over-under play of the season, and I am the worst, and I'm taking the over.
I'm also taking the over at 34.
Yep. Yeah, I love the over.
And it's not for Iowa. It's not because of Iowa.
No, 100%. It's not. I do think Michigan gets Harbaugh back, and to me, the motivation here, Harbaugh doesn't care who's against him for this game.
No.
He might just if he wants, he can rack up a number. If he wants to keep the dogs on. And
if he knows he's leaving college football, I fully expect him to do that the rest of the time he's here. And I think he probably knows what he's doing by now.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, the only thing that somewhat is a little scary to me in getting there is that so Ferentz ain't going to change. He's too stubborn. So even if they get down 24-0 or 24-7 or whatever, he will not even try to play catch up. He'll just throw in the towel. He'll still run the ball on 3rd and 5, right? Because he's so afraid to go throw that turnover or bring a pick 6 into the mix. He won't try and win the game. So he'll still try and play the field position game. And that's the only thing that scares me with that is that Ferentz won't try, which may not give Michigan any short fields.
Well, and that leads my next thing, though, too. The reason I think you're going to be fine is I'm also going to play my third play in this game is I'm taking the Michigan over team total at 27.5. I think they're going to get over 30 themselves around. Again, I still think it's going to be 34-6 final.
I didn't know this, but I'm joining you with you on that one.
On the team total over.
Yeah, I like that.
27.5 for their team total is I like even better than the over-under, but I'll take them both because I think they're going to score.
That's probably my favorite play of the week, actually. Good call. I didn't even look at it. So,
well, you don't like over-unders anyway. I'm surprised you even put one on your card. This is like foreign territory to you.
So, no, I love that. I would agree with that team total. That's a good call there for sure.
I want you to give me another one. I got 2 plays left.
Oh, I'm done. That's all I got.
4 plays for you with that,
That's
huh?
all I got, man. Yeah.
Wow. I kind of thought you'd take Michigan in the points, but you stayed away from it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I lean that way too, but I just chose to play the over instead.
4 plays for you and 8 for me in college football. This is some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'll round it out here.
All right.
I'm taking SMU plus 3.5.
Okay.
Tulane's playing that tight football. There's a lot for them to play at here, and you've kind of been seeing it as they kind of limp in the rest of the season here. I think SMU is actually going to win this football game. I think they'll be able to score enough points. That hook was a big deal there for me, too. If it was at 3, I probably would have left it alone. But I'll take SMU plus 3.5. And then my last play is, man, it sucks for Florida State where they're at. We talked about them a lot, having a chance to compete really early in the year, but they're just different without Travis. And I think Louisville is going to play spoiler for them. I think they're actually going to win the game. So I'll take Louisville with the points at plus 2.5.
Okay. So we don't have to talk in length then, but with you saying that, then I mean, I hate even talking about the committee because they're such a joke. They don't even know what they're doing. But I mean, if Florida State's out, what do you think transpires?
I think Texas's only chance to get in is they have to have Louisville in the game. I think everything else is minuscule. You can start arguing around and all that, but
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, they need Georgia to win. They don't want Alabama to get in that mix there, even though they beat them.
Yeah.
But Texas needs Louisville to win the game against Florida State. Undefeated Florida State team is going to get in. Michigan's going to beat Iowa. SEC is getting a team, and then I think the winner of the Pac-12 goes. Whoever wins that game is going. They're not getting 2 either.
I feel bad for Washington because, obviously with them being as big as dog as they are here, they did beat Oregon outright. They have right now to date, I mean, in the top, like Washington has the best win, right? I mean,
it's just one of those deals though, where it's like, look, they have nothing to worry about winning. You're in. I mean, they're in a spot to where they can absolutely control their own destiny, unlike Texas. So they're in a way better spot there. So, hey, go win the football game and you're in.
Yep. No, I get it.
So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, though.
All right, well, I'll run through these picks here again. I had 8 plays and I had 4 for you. I had Washington plus 10, Okie State plus 16, Georgia minus 5, Michigan State minus 22, Louisville plus 2.5, Michigan team total over 27.5, the Michigan Iowa over at 34, and SMU plus 3 in the hook. And for Smool, I had 4 plays with Okie State plus 16, UNLV plus 2 in the hook, over in the Iowa Michigan at 34, and the Michigan team total of over 27.5 points. That will wrap it up for us on our appetizer menu with the college plays for this. But before we get into week 13 of the NFL, why don't we go ahead and hear a word from our sponsors at Revelton.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
Thanks again to our sponsors there at Revelton, and we are back with another edition of the Ball Don't Lie podcast here, brought to you by Three Beards Media, and we are broadcasting live from the Gravitate co-working studio. I'm Ted Hawley, joined here as always with Justin Smool. Thanks again to our producer, Chris Spaghetti, in the background. NFL Week 13, bud.
Yeah, we're here.
There's a lot going on.
Yep. Big week for us.
We talked about it a little earlier, too. This is a very big week for us in Circa, sitting right there in that 60 line. So I like a lot of games here. I'm actually going to play tonight's game, too. But I'm going to settle with 6 plays. I'm kind of seeing where your head's at here. So why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Okay. First play, I'm going to take the Saints plus 4.5 here at home. We did us dirty last week. We had them. They were the right side. There's no doubt about it. You know,
Carr's pick 6 start that game was just such a
yeah. You know, and there's no hiding. We've talked about it too a lot. Is, you know, Carrs, you know, they get inside the red zone, they're horrible. But here, we're seeing something different from the Detroit Lions, and some people are talking about it, and most aren't. But their defensive unit is really struggling right now. Go back 3 games ago, that lost, or that they won the game, but it was at the Chargers 3 weeks ago. Man, that doesn't look good right now. I mean, yeah, they won the game, but boy, you give up 38. I mean, that team's a dumpster fire. Then they followed up with that crazy comeback win against the Bears, which they were dead in the water. They had no business winning that game. And then they lose to the Packers on Thanksgiving. I mean, I think this team's reeling right now. Laying 4.5 on the road in this spot just seems like too much for a defense that really hasn't stopped anybody. And I think Saints, this is the all-out effort. After last week game, to me, this is, you know, guns blazing here for the Saints. So,
yeah, for me, the reason I'm staying away from this game only is because I don't know if Olave is playing yet.
Yeah,
and I just don't know who's going to be throwing the ball to. I would play Juwan Johnson for pretty cheap if you're a DraftKings weekly player. He'll be a pretty good get this week for pretty cheap money in that. So I'll be cheering for you here, but I'm going to stay away on my side. Look, I'm going to take Dallas tonight. They're just world beaters against these bad teams. They've had a full week off, so has Seattle. But Seattle looks a little off right now.
Reeling bad.
Like I think this is not a good team. This is not a good get-right game for them right now. Dallas is playing pretty well. They're at home. And Dak plays great against these teams. This is what they do. And I think it's going to be I think Dallas is going to put up a bunch of points. And I do not think Seattle is going to be able to score with them.
Okay. Yeah.
So -9.
I wouldn't take Seattle either. So, all right. I'm going to take the Commanders plus 9.5 here against Miami. I just think the notion of Miami that, you know, they blow out the bad teams and stuff, and they have. There's no doubting that they have done that. But
they're the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC. That's who they are.
Yeah, but most of that's been done at home. And now they're on the road. The Commanders here, you know, people forget, like, they should have beat the Eagles here at home. I mean, you know, now granted, I wish they would have let go of Ron already, but he's going to be gone anyway, but it's just a matter of time. But Del Rio, they let go. I know the Commanders defense is struggling, but here's the thing: how in the offense can put up points. And I think they're going to get some. I do. The bookmakers too of hanging this line and not even moving it to 10. I think that speaks. It tells me more than what side they're really leaning towards here. So I'll take what seems like a lot of points. Also, the Eagles were only favored by 6.5 here. So, I mean, that's saying that, you know, Miami's significantly better than Philly, and I don't buy that for 1 second.
No, yeah, that's actually an interesting take there.
Yeah.
I'll cheer for you there. Yeah, if that was a play, Commanders are only. I have the Dolphins and Cowboys in my survivor. I think Pistol and Ice pick. We took Cowboys tonight. So for my sake, so he doesn't yell at me. Hopefully, Cowboys get home tonight. Otherwise, I don't hear the end of it.
No.
All right, I'm going back to the well again. I knew that. I hate them.
Mm-hmm.
They're a joke. Herbert's overrated. That was the grossest non-cover ever last week. Also, hey, screw Flowers for not going down. Also, hands over. You didn't need to score.
Nope.
I would have too. I'm just mad.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Chargers again. I don't know why. They're on the road. They're 5-point favorites.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it right here again. Like the Patriots are just such a mess right now. The back and forth stuff with Mac Jones. I've never seen Bill Belichick show how confused he is before. With him, just the uncertain, it's like his confidence is broken too. At the end of the day, you should always be like, "Oh, Bill can get them running right again too. He can get them all together and get back." It's kind of a weird, go win that game. Especially even the last couple years since Tom. There's none of that in this locker room. There's no dudes.
Nope.
There's no firepower. They're broken. They are absolutely broken. And this is his last year at the Patriots. I do think he'll coach again. I do think it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be either with this team he's coaching against right now or with Washington. I think it's going to be one of those two places next year. That's what everybody says. But the Chargers haven't covered the last 2 weeks for me. It's kind of like the Nebraska thing. I'm going to go back to the well again and probably get burnt again. But they're just due to cover. They're due to cover.
Yeah. My only fear, I don't have a play here. My only fear with the Chargers is
Staley.
Well, but was that the Dream Crusher last week on primetime, right? Do they now believe that the season is officially over? And if that's the one thing, I don't know, right? If you told me that the locker room's still semi-positive, then I'd say, you're right. I'm jumping on board here. But if they're like, you know what, we're done. Last week we had a chance to get the good team at home and we failed. And yeah, but I get it.
If it wasn't the Patriots here, I would not be playing them. But I think the Patriots are I think has been kicked in the ditch right now for them. I think they're done.
What? I just don't get why Bill isn't just making Zappy the starter.
I think he did for this week.
Oh, did he finally?
I think Zappy is playing, but I don't think he fully committed to it's not going to be Mac. It's just the whole thing's weird. He needs to pick a guy and do it. He's building no confidence in those guys. And look, Tom Brady's not playing for you anymore. Those mind games you played that were kind of cute when you're winning those titles. Tom Brady's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Well, he's not that good a coach. So
I know how you feel about him anyway, so you're not going to argue with me on that. But all right, just cheer for me in the Chargers. It's time for me to get them home.
All right, I will. All right, I'm going to take the Titans plus 1.5 here at home. I was just shocked. Titans are 4-7. They're horrible. I get it. They're undefeated at home.
I didn't know that.
They're home this week.
Interesting.
Vrabel as a dog. There's damn near no coach better in the league as a dog. Undefeated at home. Jonathan Taylor's out. Titans are going to win this game. I like the Titans. It feels like a really good division spot here to back Levis, who's kind of keeled off a little bit. Colts are nothing special. They've kind of survived a little bit. I feel like they've been pretty fortunate. The ball's kind of bounced their way. So I like the Titans to win this game.
For me and Pig's sake, for the Broncos, I hope you're right there because we need the Colts are 6-5 somehow. It's just super weird, but they're somehow 6-5, so it's time for them to go to loss too. So I'll be cheering for you.
Okay.
This team is going to win. They're going to win the game outright. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are winning this football game.
Yeah.
They're beating the Steelers. The Steelers are so fraudulent. I know they keep winning and do all that, but look, he's 3 games above 500 now. He's going to lose some he should win too. That's not a good football team there.
No.
Just not.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals, the Cardinals aren't either, but they're going to be able to move the ball, and the Cardinals are going to win this football game.
Yeah, this will make our card for sure. This making our card. Yeah.
Missing your card, we're going to make ours?
No, I'll add them. This was the one morning game I've just been going back and forth. And so, yeah, no, I completely agree here with you.
Yeah, I don't think we always look at those 5.5 point hooks. you're going to have all those Steeler fans. There's a bunch of them. They're going to be teasing them down to getting a pick 'em or just plus money on a pick 'em there. And the Cardinals are going to win this game outright.
Yep.
So if you like to play teasers, push them the other way because they're winning this game.
Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I don't know. I think you're going to be against me here, but I'm going against your team. I'm going to lay it with the Texans -3.5. I just think at some point now Denver, they're hot, and in large part, I think they're 16-2 in turnovers the last 5 games, which in the NFL, in the NFL, if you have that big a turnover margin, you're probably going to win games, and sure enough, they have, and more power to them. I think here it just kind of feels like with that, I think bookmakers are just telling you who they actually believe is going to win this game by keeping that hook. I think a lot of people are going to grab it just because of Denver and the streak, and that's kind of my thought along there. It just seems interesting to me that they just they left it there, right? So Texans are good. They're off a kind of a hard fought loss there at home against the Jags last week. Just missed the field goal there, hit the crossbar to go no OT. So I think we
needed that really. I need that really bad too.
Right? Yeah, you did. You were.
I had the Jags hammered at -2.
Right. So yeah, I think the Texans are live here. It's not that I love them, but it's just more of the number and kind of everything that's seems to have fallen kind of Denver's way the last few weeks.
I agree with a lot of the points you're saying, but Denver's making my card, and it is because of the hook in the line there too. I'm just not as big on the Texans as you are.
Yeah.
I was against them last week too, and that's just the whole reason there is this is more about the Texans to me than it is about Denver.
Okay.
Joseph's got the look. Nobody bagged on Vance Joseph more than I did to start the season. I'm still not the biggest fan. I think this is more of Sean Payton putting his fingerprints on the entire team, cutting people, doing that stuff too more than anything. But you got to give them some credit. They are much improved. Guys are a lot best. I mean, look what they did to the Chiefs twice. The Chiefs scored 28 points in 2 games against them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's playing good. That's playing good football on that side of it. I think Denver's going to win the game. And I hate betting Denver again here because they're hot. I've been saying that the last couple of weeks, and I don't think this is false bravado. This is more just, I think the Texans are what they are. I mean, they were supposed to win, what was their over-under for the season? 3.5 wins?
No, it was like 6.5.
I just think they're more of that level anyway. I don't think they're ready for this yet. Now, look, they come out and smack Denver too. I love Stroud. I love CJ Stroud, but there is some holes in that football team still.
Sure.
And I think that Denver's going to be able to move it enough against their defense. When DeMeco Ryans gets his dudes on defense there, and they have some picks coming up too.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
The Broncos are going to make my card at 3.5.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I'm laying it here with they moved to 3 in our contest, but I'm laying it with the Niners.
Full agreement.
Okay. So
I got them at 2.5 bet. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's 3 in the Circa contest. That's why I said it, but
it's 2.5 everywhere else. It sucks. It's 3 in the Circa.
No,
I checked everywhere. So I saw that too. I'm like, it's 2.5 everywhere.
Yeah. Look, I listened to some really sharp people this week out in Vegas, and right now they're hammering Brock Purdy for MVP. I mean, they're dead serious about it. That
means he comes out and balls out this game. This is where you shut everybody up and you go win that as a game.
And you know what? 2 weeks ago, this same group came out and said, get on Dak for MVP at 45-1. Well, how's that look right now? He's like 8 or 7-1. That's pretty. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, here, look, Eagles are escaping by. I feel like the balls really bounce their way off.
They are a very good football team. We're not saying they're not a good football team. It's just they've got a lot of those bounces. Yep. Football's a game where it does bounce the other way sometimes too, and I completely agree with you. But I kind of think they're going to I think they're going to win by 10 plus.
No, I agree 100%. Here's the thing. Eagles defense that gets a lot of credit. If you actually look at the numbers, it's not as good as what people think. You may be surprised. I mean, Buffalo last week had time of possession, ran over 90 plays against that defense. I think they're tired. The Eagles are off the Chiefs game, which we had. 2 weeks ago. Now they're off that game last week in overtime. Like they're off some big games here with Dallas on deck. And what? We got the revenge factor from last year, right? With the Niners from the playoffs. I think this is a home run spot here for the Niners. So they'll for sure on our card then. Glad you agree.
Yeah. Chris Shipley chimed in there too that he got on Brock last week for that bet. Look, it's worth it for what the odds were. I think I got it about a month ago.
Yeah.
Rafferty's coming off their losing streak or whatever, but I don't think he's going to win it. But those guys talk about doing that for the odds, and that means he's going to ball out this game. So
right. Yep.
The Niners will absolutely be on our card.
So we got Niners Cardinals for sure.
We have Niners Cardinals for sure.
Yep.
I got a game here that I think I can talk you into.
Okay.
And this is my my last play. I got 6 plays here, and I think I can talk you into this. Have they announced for sure who's playing quarterback yet for the Browns?
No, but not officially.
It doesn't matter whether it's whichever guy's playing there, whether it's Dorian Thompson-Robinson or PJ Walker. They're about the same guy to me. I just think that they got Denver smacked them around so bad defensively. I think they're going to play a lot better defensively this week. And the Rams are all over the place.
Yeah.
We had them last week too. They're a week-to-week thing for me, and this is just a spot play to where I think the Browns were getting too much love sometimes in the last month, and they're not getting enough here. I don't think the hook should be here. I think this should be closer to a pick-em game where a lot of the Rams games have been lately, whether at home or on the road. And I think this spreads off by 2 to 3 points. So I'm playing the numbers in this, and I think the Browns are actually live here. Have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I agree. I kind of like this pick. And don't forget about Flacco either. He's
they did. Is he going to be activated? I mean, look,
reps. I mean, it's okay. I mean, whatever. He can at least throw it downfield. I mean, he can't move, but
Drew Shipley just said he's been activated. Maybe could start.
That's fine. I don't care. It's the number.
The quarterback play here does nothing for me. It's the Browns' defense,
yeah.
And I do think they're going to be able to slow them down and be able to get to the quarterback. And when Stafford plays sped up, he's not as good as he was in the past. Like he's a different player with that. So.
Yeah, and I think too. So we had the Rams last week, and people forget that McVay is really good in this division in terms of scheming it up and getting these teams right. I mean, he owns Pete Carroll. He owned Kingsbury. I mean, he's really owned the Cardinals as a whole anyway. So you kind of got to toss those games out because those division games can kind of be.
Their roster is still just not very good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They're not very good.
Right.
I think the Browns are going to run it down their throat. I really do.
Yeah.
I love Ford in daily fantasy as well this week. I think he's the
running. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to take the Packers. I don't know if it's 6 or 6.
This just missed for me. It's at 6. It just missed for me.
Yeah,
They have it at 5.5 on Circa, which sucks, but it's at 6, and it just missed for me.
Yeah, this I'd even take 5.5. I actually think so. I've actually, as much as I've hated on the Packers, they've actually been really nice to me. I've backed them a lot as dogs, and they've been more than kind to me.
They've been good the last month, and look, their loss to Denver looks a lot better now than it did at the time too.
Yeah,
it was actually a pretty good football game.
Yep. Look, they're playing good. Yeah. The Packers are playing good, and all of a sudden, they're semi. If they would maybe shock them here, hey, wild cards are right there now for them. Jordan Love's improved. I give him some credit. I've hated on him. I still don't think he's great, but he's capable. Packers first time Mahomes making the trip to Lambeau. I think that's interesting. So the Packers defense here is what's going to do it for me. Primetime game. We know how these have gone over the year. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think Packers keep it close, and I think they're alive to win the game.
Rashawn Gary is maybe one of the most underrated football players in the NFL that people don't talk enough about. Like,
I'd agree.
If he's maybe not on that level, with the Myles Garretts and those guys and the TJ Watts right at the top, but boy, he's that rung sniffing right behind them right there. He is fun to watch. He's a grader. He messes up the run and he gets to the quarterback. And he doesn't get as many sacks that those guys do, but he's in their face the whole game.
Right.
The Packers will make our circuit card.
All right.
They will absolutely make it. I actually love that play.
I got one more. I'm gonna have one more. I'm gonna go Monday night. I'm taking the Bengals plus 8.5. I can't.
You just hate the Jags. You say it. You hate the Jags.
I do. I don't like
it.
I don't like the Jags, but I don't like the Bengals either.
Well, yeah, you didn't like the Bengals when Burrow was playing, but now you get to like him a little bit.
Yeah, well, 8. You're gonna
no way you were touching this game if Burrow was playing.
8.5. I mean, this is insane to me. First off, the Jags. I still don't. If you look at Trevor Lawrence's number, I mean, his numbers are actually bad this year, especially for being a number 1 draft pick that was supposed to be this worldly beater.
He had a pretty good game last week.
Yeah, finally. But he's still no good. I'm playing the number. The Jags are, if you look, the Jags play horrible at home. They aren't a good home team. They got smacked 2 weeks ago by the Niners. They lost that game by 1 million. I just don't think they play good at home. They play way, way better on the road. 8.5.
And London. They play better in London too.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's the points, right? We're talking this primetime thing. We know that the world, this is the teaser. Everyone and their mother is going to have the Jags teased down to win this game. Every single teaser ticket will be alive to it, and I am. Oh, I don't know who do I hate more?
Chris Shipley wants to know who Smool hates more, Jacksonville or Ferentz. It's Ferentz. It's not even close.
It's not even close.
The answer is Ferentz. To something in Ferentz. It's Ferentz. That's the answer.
Yeah, correct. Ferentz. Yeah. Saban's a close second.
Yeah. Bill Belichick's third.
Actually, yeah. Tied for Saban. Tied with Saban.
So basically, his answer is the 1995 Cleveland Browns coaching staff.
That's a good one. There you go. But anyway, yeah. Bengals plus 8.5, and I hope Ferentz scores 0 points, and then he retires. It'd be a great way for him to retire. It'd be fitting.
Oh man, you're something.
Last college game.
There you go. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. That is going to be interesting to see.
It will be.
All right. Well, that wraps up our picks here too. I'll run through them. I got 6 plays for myself, and I believe 8 for you. That's more like it for you. When you have
there we go.
You even got all those picks in. I had Dallas tonight -9, the Chargers -5, the Cardinals +5.5, and I am playing the money line. The 49ers -2.5, the Broncos +3 in the hook, and the Browns +3 in the hook. For Smool, I had the Saints +4.5, Commanders +9.5, Titans +1 in the hook, Cardinals +5.5, the Texans -3.5, the Niners -2.5, the Pack +6, and the Bengals +8.5. Hey, it's good to be back, buddy. It's good to get back on the screen here and talk about some football. This is a fun weekend between all the college conference games, and this is really kind of the marching orders towards the playoffs here. There's kind of some make-or-break games, so that'll be fun. But as always, thanks to Chris Spaghetti in the background for us. Thanks to Three Beard Media, Gravitate, and our sponsors at Revelton Distilling Company. You got anything else to add before we go?
No, man. It looks like our card's about set for Circus, so that's pretty nice.
We got 3 already. It makes it a lot easier for us to find 2 games instead of 5.
I think we got 4.
We might have 4. We might
have 4. So yeah, awesome. And I like it. I think it's a good card.
I feel better about this week too. I always feel better when we do more. So
yeah.
All right. Well, as always, I'm Ted and he's Smool. Cash that ticket.